Okay, so now that tax season is over, let me ask y'all, do y'all still think we not a business? Do y'all still think we not a business? Now that y'all done paid y'all taxes, are we still not a business? Or are we a business? Now that y'all done paid all of these taxes and then got all of this money taken out, are we a business yet? Because according to the IRS, we definitely are. So I wanted to start this off saying that because a lot of y'all don't understand. You really want to make money as an Uber driver, gotta change your mindset. You can't just haphazardly turn this app on. You can't just haphazardly go pick a spot and like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna drive over here and think that you're gonna make real money. When I say real money, we talk about $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, it may happen depending on your market. You know, some of y'all live in really good markets. You know, like obviously California is one of those markets. You know, you got New York, you got a couple different places in terms of like really good markets. But that's not gonna happen down here in South Florida. So if you're from South Florida, like I am, that ain't gonna happen. Especially now that it's starting to slow down, that ain't gonna happen. So when I'm referring to you gotta treat this like a business, I'm saying you gotta curate a strategy. That's the ultimate thing. No business survives unless they have a game plan, unless they have a strategy. So when you become an Uber driver, it's the easiest thing in the world to just press the little button, turn on the app, and just drive around and try to make money. And yeah, it's true. You're going to make a couple dollars. But you're going to experience a hell of a lot more expenses in terms of mileage, maintenance, depreciation, all of the things that you guys talk about. All of the things that you guys talk about, you're going to get a lot of it because you're just driving around aimlessly. And Uber knows that you don't care, so they're going to send you around aimlessly. Oh, he doesn't care? We'll send him to Homestead. You know, we'll send him from Palm Beach to Homestead for $20 because he doesn't know. Oh, he doesn't know? You know what? We'll send him to Jacksonville for, I don't know, $50 because he doesn't know. You know what? He doesn't know. We'll send him out to the Everglades because he doesn't know. And that's because, again, what you got to understand, whether or not you see yourself as a business when you're doing this, Uber is a business and they're in this to make money. They're going to make money off of you. Now, a lot of people get so caught up on, you know, the amount that they take in terms of fees and all of that stuff. And, oh my gosh, they're taking all of these fees. And, you know, we get the, you know, I say it's more like 70-30, but, you know, I think technically it's like 60-40 split. And a lot of people feel like that's not okay, you know. They're taking a huge portion of the fare while we get this little small percentage. And it's like they don't do anything significant. We're the ones that's taking them in our vehicle, you know. Shout out to my Tesla. We're the ones taking them in our vehicles. We're taking on that risk. We're dealing with them as a customer. You know what I'm saying? We got to deal with the traffic. We got to deal with the elements. All they really did was match us. But yet they get 60%. 60, 70, 80%, depending on who you ask. And it's true. It makes sense. Because they're a business, just like we're a business. So if you're not treating this like a business, as it is out loud, probably, as my camera just starts going wherever it wants. This is why I'm saying you got to treat this as a business. So every business knows their cost. That's a beautiful thing. Oh my gosh, my camera keeps going off. Y'all gotta forgive me. I don't know why my camera don't want to stay on me. It's like, yeah, you're in a good parking lot. Show the parking lot. That's what my camera's trying to say. So yeah. So the biggest thing, or the reason why I say we're a business, whether or not you agree, whether or not you understand it, is because every business knows their numbers. So when you talk about a regular business, whether it's a grocery store, it's a shoe retailer, or just a plumber, I don't know. Every business knows their numbers. So you realistically, every business knows how much they bring in. They know how much they spend. They know how much they have projected in terms of income. And they have a strategy towards continuing to acquire customers and things like that. Every business, but universally, every business knows their numbers. And what I'm saying with this video today is, to be successful as an Uber driver, you got to know your numbers. Realistically, you got to know your numbers. I'm sorry, if you don't understand how much you make every month, every week, if you don't know how much you can make every week, you got to learn that to be successful. And you got to be able to validate that in the sense of doing it over and over, being consistent. And the way that you do that is very simple. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the hours. You got to find the spots that you like to drive, the spots that actually make you money. It's not just South Beach, Wynwood, and downtown. Sure, there's places there that can make you money, and that's a nice area, but you got to find your spot. You got to find your spot that actually, okay, when I come here, I sit in front of this building, I hang out. Or when I come here, I expect a request. If I don't get a request in like 10 minutes, I'm moving over to this next spot. You got to learn your market, which is what I tell everybody all the time, right? But when you know your number, you get consistent at saying, okay, look, I know I can make $600 every week. $600 times 4 is obviously $2,400. Now that's your number every month. You do that for a couple months, it's like, okay, I know I can hit $2,400 every month. Now that's what you're projected to do. Now, obviously, maybe changing the area that you work, getting a different type of vehicle, now those decisions just play into the factor of you're trying to grow that projected income. Okay, I have this baseline right here, but I'm trying to get it more. I'm trying to get it higher. I'm trying to make more money. Okay, maybe I make this $2,400 working during the daytime, so maybe I need to make the change and work during the nighttime. I make this money working in Miami, maybe I need to work in Fort Lauderdale. Or vice versa, I work in Fort Lauderdale, maybe I need to go to Miami. Or I make my money by working in, I don't know, South Beach, and I make $2,400. Maybe, just maybe, I need to get off of South Beach. But this is what being a business is about. This is what being a business is about. And now that you guys have paid taxes, hopefully you guys have filed your taxes, or at least getting in the process of filing your taxes, or doing something with your taxes. And the government has told you that even though you're a 1099, you're still classified as a business owner. Hopefully it's starting to make sense. Because whether you understand it or not, this is what that is. As an Uber driver, you're gonna have business costs that you wouldn't have if you was an employee. In the sense of that vehicle that I always show, my little Tesla over there, that is my work vehicle. That's my work vehicle. That's what I pick people up in. That is my work vehicle. So the mileage and the things that I do with that vehicle, as long as I'm working, is going towards the work income that I make. Now, for me, it's a rental. So, again, I'm not a tax professional. I'm not telling you what to do, what not to do. But yeah, that, it should be a deduction. Because it's work. I'm specifically doing it to work. That's not my personal vehicle. I don't have it decked out personally. I have it situated to work. So that is a part of my monthly business expenses. Monthly, I have certain expenses that I have to pay to operate my business. Just like if I was in this building, if I own this building, I would have utilities. That's a monthly expense. Now, it's depending on, you can't write off your whole utility. But, like I said, I'm not a tax professional. The point is, you have monthly expenses that are required in order for you to operate your business. Whether, I can use groceries. Okay, let's say a store like Walmart. They have to get inventory. All of the money that they're spending on inventory, all of the money that they're spending on the groceries. So the meat in the meat section, the bread, restocking, all of that stuff is business expenses. All of that stuff is a business expense, rightfully so. So that is something that could, again, different. I'm not a tax professional. It should go against your taxes because as a business, you have business expenses. So just to kind of wrap up, now that taxes is over, taxes is on the 15th. If you haven't filed, you might want to, or at least file for an extension or something. Now that taxes is over, do you still think you're not a business? Do you understand that you're a business whether you know it or not? And the way to truly be successful is to start operating like a business. You have business expenses. So you have a monthly income that you make, especially if you've been doing this consistently. If you know the number that you're going to make and you do it consistently, now you have a projected source of income. You have a projected amount of income. I'm using these terms because I want you guys to understand, whether you do it or not, this is called a business plan. But this is something that you really should be doing for your business if you're an Uber driver, especially if you're a full-time driver. These are things that you should know, or at least be looking into. Now, is Uber going to do it for you? No. Is anybody going to make you do it? No. But this is why I always say there's a difference between the people that are successful and the people that are not. There's a difference between the people that just turn on the app haphazardly, fa la la la, fa la la la, and you make the money that you make, as opposed to the people that are very strategic about the places that they work, the car that they drive, the platforms that they work. That's all a part of you being a business owner. Just like there's certain items that Walmart won't carry, but another grocery store that we have down here is Publix. Walmart won't carry certain things, but Publix will carry them. Or Publix won't carry certain items, but Whole Foods will cover them. You get what I'm saying? Every business has a specific strategy. So as an Uber driver, you are your own business. Do you know your strategy? Have you formulated your strategy? Have you formulated your game plan? Do you know your numbers? Are you thinking about your numbers at least? Because all of this is stuff that you can work around. It's nothing, I'm nobody special in the sense of being able to figure this out. Really, you should talk to a tax professional, obviously. And they can help you out, figure this stuff out. But it's something that we all should do. As Uber drivers, you should know how much you're expected to make every month. And then it's about figuring out how you scale it. This is what most businesses do. Okay, I'm projected to make, I think the example was $2,400. Okay, how can I scale my business so that now instead of making $2,400, now I make $5,400? What can I do to scale my business? Is it getting a different car, like me and my Tesla? Is it going to a different area, like instead of working Fort Lauderdale, going to Miami? What is it that can grow my income in my business as an Uber driver? Because make no mistake, it's your business. It's still a business. What is it that can kind of help me grow? But this is the point. This is okay. So once you know your numbers, once you have your projected income, then it's about, okay, now how can I grow it? how can I grow it, and how can I grow it consistently? Because when we talk about other businesses, other companies, we look at, in terms of stocks, if you're an investor, I should say it like that. If you have shareholders or anything like that, you know that we look at the companies, we look at the projected growth of the company, how much is the company growing, and we look at the projected, like what they are projected. Are they growing in terms of income? Are they growing in terms of production? Like, what are they doing? You know that we look at like that type of stuff. Excuse me. So as a business, it's the same concept. So it's about growth. It's about looking ahead, looking past where you are today to hopefully get to a better point tomorrow and in the future, so that next year you're not in the same predicament. Next year you don't want to be here. Next year you want to be better or way better. Next year you want to be doing something else. Next year you want to be in Mali. I don't know. Next year you want to be in the Bahamas. Next year you want to be, I don't know, at Disney World. The whole point is you want to keep growing. So if you're treating this like a business, that type of stuff is possible. Treating this like a business helps you grow. But more importantly, it keeps you on track. So, I know I kind of rambled a little bit. The overall theme is, if you really want to be successful, you got to really know your numbers. And that's just what it comes down to. Because guess what? The IRS knows your numbers, and they're going to charge you taxes on it. Hey, but yeah, man, listen. Okay, so I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for watching. But I'm going to get out of here, man. I'm going to get out of here. You got any questions, any comments? Look, I ain't give no tax advice, so you want to give tax advice, leave it in the comments below. But yeah, other than that, man, if you're not in the Telegram group, you should be. We building a community, man. A community, man. But yeah, man, I am live streaming every other day. I'm doing good with that, man. I'm doing good with that. I don't have a specific time, so you should subscribe. But yeah, I'm out of here. Deuces.